Okay.
Alright. Our topic was measurement, which you guys basically have, goes along with what I'll present right now. Let's start off with some research we found, some background on the topic. We found this research from the Journal of Research in Mathematics Education. I'm just going to read it straight through because I'll explain everything in a second and I don't want to miss anything. The study of measurement is crucial in the pre-K through 12 mathematics curriculum because of its practicality and pervasiveness in so many aspects of everyday life. The study of measurement also provides an opportunity for learning about, this is probably the most important part, other areas of mathematics such as number operations, geometric ideas, statistical concepts, and notions of function. So like we always say in class, math builds upon itself. If you miss stuff in this measurement topic, you might struggle along the way in other topics. Let's continue on the research a little bit. Measurement is the assignment of a numerical value to an attribute of an object. In the earliest grades, students can compare and order objects using language, such as longer and shorter. As they progress through the grades, students' collection of measurable attributes, their understanding of the relationships among the attributes, and their understanding of precision and measurement should expand. By high school, students should recognize the need to report an appropriate number of significant digits when computing the measurements. Now, some big ideas that relate to measurement, which we'll cover today with our activity. We're going to be doing metric measurement. It's actually funny, I had observations today, so I'm dressed like this. They were doing metric measurement. So my mind's pretty fresh with it. Finding equivalence, which also deals with multiplication and division. For instance, going from a kilometer to a meter, back and forth, the equivalence there. That also has to do with place value, moving the decimal point. Pretty self-explanatory. Here's a standard. Once again, straightforward when it comes to measurement. Identify equivalent metric units of length. That's what we'll be doing today. As long as, Here's our objectives that we're aiming for today to please that standard. Identify metric units of length, obviously. Determine equivalent values of the metric prefixes. For instance, kilo to just meter to hectometer. Compare the equivalent values, and then most importantly, recognize that the measurement units are all powers of 10. You work with a base 10 mathematical system. If they get that down, that has to deal with the place value again, moving the decimal, the zeros if you're working with tens. So if they get that conceptual foundation down, they should be good for more complex stuff. We're just showing you the assessment right now. It's a little premature, but you'll understand what we're talking about once the activity starts. It's going to be based on the order in which the sheets are placed. You'll be given sheets with different units, different number of units. You'll have to order those correctly and how they determine the equivalent values. That's where we're going to assess stuff. We're going to be very traditional in terms of our approach. By traditional, I mean that we're going to pose a task to the kids to start them off. Here's our hook or task that we came up with. Two cousins of mine from Canada came to visit my brother and I at his home in upstate New York. One cousin said that he drove for 500 kilometers. The other cousin said that her trip was longer because she drove for 5,000 hectometers. Whose trip was longer? We like this hook because it kind of taps into the prior knowledge. Keep in mind, this is a 5th grade lesson or activity right now. They should have learned this by 4th grade numerous times, where you work with equivalencies. Even 2nd grade, like I said, I was doing observations today in 2nd grade classroom. They're working with the metric system. So it helps them with our objectives, and it also, I just want to get to a video I want to show you really quick. Everybody see that? Yeah. Alright, let me see if the volume's on.
Can you explain metric systems?
Okay. I'm just going to play this for about a minute and a half through. Just take it in as if you were a 5th grader. This we would actually show to them the whole way through. It's about 6 minutes just to refresh them, because this is basically going to help them into the activity. But let me just play it for about a minute and a half and I'll explain some things on it. Just take it all in for a second.
Well, the metric system is a way of measuring length and weight based on our decimal system.
Yeah.
So if you have a good understanding of decimals and place value, it'll be really easy to understand the metric system. Let's begin by looking at a unit of length called the meter. Now, a meter is just a little bit bigger than a yard. And equals 3 feet. So that means a meter is a little bit longer than 3 feet. In the metric system, the units of measure to the right of a meter become increasingly smaller, and the units of measure to the left of the meter become increasingly bigger. So let's find out how many meters are in each of these measurements. And let's begin with the meter. We know there is 1 meter in a meter. That's easy enough to understand. Now decameters are 10 times bigger than meters. So that means there are 10 meters in a decameter. Hectometers are 100 times bigger than meters. So there are 100 meters in a hectometer. A kilometer is 1,000 times bigger than a meter.